Hello, rock stars, and welcome to Longarm Preparatory. My name is Holly and Knight of String and Story, and it is my job to guide you to quit with confidence. Today, we are here for a super special celebration because we are kicking off a new cohort of our online class, Longarm Preparatory. Now, Longarm Preparatory is all about guiding you to quit with confidence with your long arm on a frame. It is especially designed for our new and nervous longarming rock stars who are ready to take the leap and really make the most of this investment that they've made. And today, if you've already signed up for the class, we are here to welcome you. And if you are here because you're still curious about the class and have some questions you want to get answered, I'm going to have a chance to answer some of those questions for you as well. Now, if you are here with me live or you're catching the replay, go ahead and say hi in the chat or in the comments so that I can greet you. I see Kathleen and Marcia, Teresa, Carol, Pat, Janice, and Christy have already tuned in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to see y'all. We are already coast to coast, north to south here in the U.S. I love that. Any international rock stars joining us today, we would love to welcome you as well. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and start our slide deck and jump right into welcoming all of you into the class. So once again, welcome to our Longarm Prep welcome party for our Winter 2023 cohort. I'm so excited to welcome each and every one of you by name. I think that's one of the really fun things about how we do things here at String and Story. It's even though we do things virtual, I always want to make sure that you feel connected, both to me as the instructor and to your fellow rock stars. And so making sure we have live events like this where we can engage via the chat and where y'all can meet each other, even if it's virtual, is really, really special. Now, I do just want to let you know as I go through this deck, if you don't see your name, it just means you hadn't quite signed up yet when Clara went through and pulled the report of everyone who had already joined us. So don't worry, just make sure that you holler in the chat that you have already signed up and I will give you a shout out as well. All right. One of the things that I love about Longarm Prep that is just kind of special about this class is that because it is designed for someone who's at a very specific point in their longarming journey, is these tend to be more intimate cohorts. So pay attention to the names that are in this slide deck. These are going to be some of your quilting besties over the next few weeks. All right. So meet your fellow longarm quilting rock stars. First up, we have our awesome A's. Welcome to Annette Kingery, Annette Popplewell, and Avery Grant. We are so excited to have you in Longarm Prep for this cohort. And welcome, by the way, Rose and Sandra, who have jumped into the chat. Thrilled to see you. Got a couple of folks from Texas in the house. Next up, we have our brilliant bees, Betty Lynch. We are so excited to have you in Longarm Prep. I can't wait to see your amazing projects. Then we have our creative C's, Carol Hennon and Christy Browning. Holler, I see Christy in the chat, and Carol as well. Huzzah, welcome both of you. Welcome to our Dynamite D's, Dawn Leonards, Deborah Jameson, Deb Woody, and Denise. I am thrilled to welcome you to Longarm Prep. If you're in the chat, give a holler so we can hoop for you. Welcome to our great G's, Grace Jackson. Welcome to Longarm Prep. I'm thrilled to have you joining us. Belinda Mitchell says, welcome to the new guys. I've managed to be online for a video from Australia. Huzzah, Belinda. I just love the videos, but not in this class yet. Belinda, I'm thrilled that you are here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to our Jolly Jays, Jacqueline Close and Janice Edwards. And I know that at least one of you is here live. Welcome. Thrilled to have you, Rockstar. Then we have our kitten A's, Kathleen Ross and Kaya Dowley. Welcome. So excited to have you joining us for this cohort. Welcome to our pizzazzy P's, Patricia Stevens and Pat Smith. I'm so excited that you're joining us for Longarm Prep this time around. Then our spectacular S's. Oh, this is our most popular initial this time, I think. Sandra Myers, Sandra Smith, Susan Wolf, Sandy Waters, and Sylvia Homo. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Then our talented T's, Tamitha Kaplan, Teresa Zabel, and Teresa Peterson. So excited to have y'all joining us. And last, I believe, but certainly not least, Vicki McFadden, welcome to Longarm Preparatory. I'm so glad to have you here. Now, I mentioned this is going to be quick. Because this is a lovely, intimate cohort, we're going to really have an amazing opportunity to get to know each other really well. So if you have signed up and you didn't see your name, please drop your name in the chat so that I can welcome you. Now, here in just a minute, I'm going to answer any questions that you may have about the course if you are here and you are still considering whether or not this is the right class for you. But first, for those of you who have already enrolled, I do just want to give you a quick little rundown of kind of what happens next. So now that you've enrolled in Longarm Prep, you should have already gotten your welcome email. And next week is going to be our week for orientation. Now, if you were paying careful attention during our Pep to Prep challenge last week, you might be saying, Holy Ann, I thought you said orientation was in March. I did say that, and I was also wrong. We had put it on March in one set of our calendars, and then we changed it, and I failed to update my personal calendar for that. So orientation is kicking off right away. If, however, you've joined the class and you're like, shoot, I wasn't planning on getting started right now, don't worry. You have lifetime access to the class, and you can get started in March at the time that works for you, okay? But if you are ready to jump in with both feet, great news, you don't have to wait. Orientation is going to be next week, and we're going to make sure that you get all the instructions for knowing how to sign into Kajabi. That's where all of our course videos are. For getting into the Facebook group, where we're going to do our live Q&As and where you can share your work with me and your fellow rock stars, and where you can meet previous cohorts of Longarm Prep Rockstars. We will make sure that the workbook gets released to you, and of course, you'll have an opportunity to purchase the kit. Now, the kit is optional, but it just kind of makes things easy. So you'll see an email come up through about that as well, all right? Next week is all about making sure that you feel nice and situated and confident before we actually jump into the rest of the course materials. I know that especially this is your first online course that you've taken like this, it can feel a little bit overwhelming to know where to go and what to do. So we try to take a whole week to make sure that you have all of that information, feel situated, feel confident, and then you can dive into learning, okay? Any questions about that from folks who have already enrolled? And then I'm going to do a brief little review of everything that's included in the class so that if you are here and you're still thinking about joining us, you have all of that information nice and handy. All right, drop those questions in the chat if you have them, and I'm going to carry on with a couple of reminders. Longarm Preparatory enrollment for our winter 2023 cohort does end tonight. So if you are here and you are a new or nervous longarm quilter, or you are going to QuiltCon at the end of the month, or OSQE, or any of the other upcoming shows, and you are considering buying a longarm and you want to make sure that you know how to use it from the get-go, this is the class for you, okay? And enrollment does end tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a link in the chat. I'll drop it a couple more times as we go along, so that if you're ready to jump in with us, you're good to go. Orientation will start on Monday. It is all via email, so you don't need to worry about showing up for anything live, Teresa. Great question. You'll get an email from us each day that has the information that you need. Great question. Longarm Preparatory is a comprehensive introduction, and Longarm Prep is going to transform you from feeling scared or overwhelmed by your longarm to confidently loading and quilting your own quilts in just a few weeks. This is the kind of hands-on education that, ideally you would receive from your dealer, but sometimes it's tricky of having to go somewhere to learn, or maybe the scheduling didn't work out quite right, or maybe you purchased a longarm secondhand. There's lots of reasons why we may not necessarily get this education straight out of the gate when we purchase a longarm. And that's exactly why this course is available, because if you're going to make the decision to invest in your quilting so much as to buy a longarm, I want to make sure that you have the resources at your fingertips to be a whole rock star. Right? You purchased this longarm to be able to finish your quilts, and I'm going to make sure that if there's any roadblocks preventing that from happening, that we remove those and you get going. Christy says, I'm confused. Are there classes that we do at our own pace and then have the opportunity to ask questions? Yes, great question, Christy. So all of the course videos themselves are pre-recorded, and they're going to be released unit by unit inside of Kajabi. That's what we use for our course platform. Then we have Q&As every other week, so you'll have the opportunity at any time to post questions in the Facebook group and get help from your fellow students. And then every other week, there'll be an opportunity to ask questions that I will answer live on video. Yep. And then once the lessons are released to you, you have lifetime access to those lessons. So if stuff comes up or you're traveling and you don't quite go through on exactly the schedule that we release, you can move through at the pace that works for you. Great question, Christy. Gail is a previous student, and she says, I love the professionalism and teaching style. Never in my wildest dreams had I thought that I could do this. This class has made my longarming fun. And Pam shares, I'm still a beginner with this new machine, but I've learned so much about confidence and an I can do it attitude, how to have fun, and how to lose some of my fear of failure, plus how to make some beautiful motifs on a gorgeous panel. Thank you, Holly Ann, for your enthusiasm, patience, and for teaching this old dog new tricks. On to the next quilting plan. Love that, Pam. Fabulous work. So just a quick review of everything that's included in Longarm Preparatory. It has a total value of over $700 US. It includes lifetime access to 4 units of quality video lessons, including information about the supplies you need to longarm, the parts of your longarm, and how to actually quilt something. One of my favorite things about this course is that you have the opportunity to see me quilt 3 different quilting plans start to finish and 3 different levels of complexity. so that you really get a concept of how you move a machine and a quilt around on a frame to successfully complete the whole thing. We're going to talk about how to get balanced tension, how to master your first motifs, and then how to actually move from one section of your quilt to the next. We have an amazing course workbook that's going to hold your hand step by step, a private Facebook group with bi-weekly live Q&A sessions. The slide still says 5. This is an update we just made to have ongoing Q&A sessions. And as a bonus, in case you've never done any free motion quilting before, we include Intro to FMQ so that you have a foundation for those first motifs to make sure you can be quilting with success by the end of this course. So a quick little overview of what the units look like. We're going to get started together in an introduction unit. Then we're going to go through supplies and setting up to quilt. Then we'll load our long arms, adjust our tension, and work on navigating several different types of quilting plans. The Facebook group is going to complement our online learning and provide an opportunity to connect together via pictures and live Q&As and posts. Because one of the things that's most important to me is I don't want you to ever feel stuck or isolated or alone along this journey. I think that's one of the hard things about classes in all their formats is if you go to take a class at a shop or at a show, you finish the class and you go home. And if you find that you have a question, who do you call and how do you ask a question? If you go to a show and you take a class, when you get to the end of the show and you get home and you're trying to apply what you learned, where do you go if you have questions or if you need follow up? And so building the follow up of our Facebook group into how we do our courses here at String and Story is really, really important to me. And as you can see here, there's always a replay of all of these Q&A sessions and all of these videos because we've got amazing folks like Belinda and others who live clear on the other side of the globe from me. And the time that works for me during the day may not be the time that works for you. And I want this to be accessible when you're able to jump in and join. All right. Lifetime access truly means that once you purchase this course, you've got it, you're stuck with me. And you can go back and watch and rewatch these videos as many times as you need without paying extra. It also means that if we make any big updates to the course in the future, you will get those updates as part of your student journey. All right. And when you hear me say cohort, we're just referring to folks who enrolled together at the same time. All right. So 5 quick reasons why Longarm Preparatory is an amazing class for you. It allows you to learn to long arm from the privacy and comfort of your own home. It's ready when you are, regardless of geography, time zone with on-demand pre-recorded lessons. It connects you to other rock stars in training around the world so you can help and encourage each other. Oh, and then my last thing is it keeps you connected here with me so that you always know where to ask your questions. So one last story from an amazing rock star. Deanna shares, I loved all the positive encouragement from Holly Ann. Her enthusiasm made the journey so much fun. I was ready to give up and sell my used long arm that I purchased. I came across this course and decided to give it one more try. I'm so glad that I signed up. Not only did I decide not to give up, I decided to upgrade to a new machine. And now I can't wait to continue my learning journey. Anne says, nothing fancy on this table runner, but I'm very pleased to have moved beyond my fear of this big machine. Learning to float the top, solve tension issues, and move around the quilting space have made all the difference. Thank you, Hack, for your patience and cheerleading. So as I mentioned, Longarm Prep enrollment is open through this evening. You can go to stringandstory.com/longarm prep in order to get all signed up. It is a one-time tuition payment of $197 US or 3 payments of $67. And I would absolutely love to see you inside of this class. All right, let me pull these slides down. I see Christy asked another question. Christy says, the Q&A on Facebook. Yes. So inside the Facebook group, you'll have the opportunity to ask questions ahead of time. And then I go live on Facebook answering those questions. Then Team Rockstar takes that recording and it will live on Facebook, but it will also live inside the Q&A vault that you may have seen inside Kajabi if you logged in after you enrolled. That way you've got an easy way to go back and find them. Or if you simply just don't prefer to be on Facebook, you can still watch those Q&As and glean insight from other folks' questions and answers. Great question, Christy. Rockstars, all of y'all who have already enrolled, welcome to Longarm Prep. I'm so excited to have you in our winter 2023 cohort, and I cannot wait to see the amazing projects that you're going to create in the weeks ahead. Before you know it, you're going to be really excited about your long arm and about what is possible, and you're going to feel confident loading and quilting all of those projects. So welcome. I'm thrilled to have you. If you are here and you're still deciding if this is the right course for you, go check out stringandstory.com/longarm prep. Review all those details. And of course, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. I'm thrilled to be here with you, and I will see you inside Longarm Prep next week. Bye for now.